Hey everybody, it's Kathy. I've been away for a while. Sorry. It's been spring break here in Nashville, and we took our kids out of town. And then when I got back in town, I purchased a new machine for my business. It's called a microcurrent machine. Those of you who live in California and Florida, you're probably familiar with them because they're very popular in those states. But here in Nashville, we're slow to have new things, and I've been wanting to get one for a while, so I finally got one. And it was a big week-long event where the company came to town and we did a big event. So I have been just crazy busy. So today's Saturday. I just got home from work. It's raining out in Nashville, so my husband has the boys. They're off doing something right now, so I thought I'd finally get a video in. And I do have several planned. Several of you have asked me for videos for specific things that I haven't gotten around to yet, but I promise you I will now that things are back to calmness, hopefully. So tomorrow is my day off, and I will try to catch up on some things like that tomorrow. Today, what I wanted to talk about is some of you know that I have really been searching for a good foundation. I try new foundations weekly. I'm not kidding. It's crazy. But as we get older, we need more coverage. We have more things that we don't like on our face. So, but the hard part is usually the foundations that give more coverage tend to give you that mask-like appearance. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, that I think I've finally come to the realization that we can't have it all. We can't. I really don't believe that we can find a foundation that's really going to give us that kind of coverage that we want, to give us flawless skin, but where it looks good. Because as you all know, when we get older, our skin is drier, and we've got tiny, tiny little wrinkles, sort of like parchment paper. They're really not bad until you put something heavy and thick on top of it, and then our skin looks 100 times worse. That's the one thing I notice more than anything in my business. When I see clients, when they walk in the door and I look at them, and then when I get their face cleansed and I look at them, I can't tell you how many times they look 10 years younger by me removing their makeup. Now, do they know that? No. Obviously, we wear makeup to look better. And we think when we look in the mirror, all we're looking at is coverage. All we're looking at is, did that brown spot get covered? Did those red places get covered? What we don't realize is that light in our bathroom and the way we're looking in the mirror, it's not really the true story of what we look like in our makeup. And I would encourage any of you over the age of 35 or 40, when you put your makeup on in the morning, when you're completely done, when it's ready, go outside with a mirror in natural daylight, unless it's a cloudy day, obviously. But stand out there with a mirror and look at yourself, because sometimes, for myself anyway, I'll look in my rearview mirror sometimes in the morning when I'm trying out a new foundation, one that I think, oh, this one's really good, it covered really well. I'll look in the mirror and I just about panic, and I was, oh my gosh, I look like one of those women that come in with a mask on their face. And then I panic and I got to figure out, okay, how am I going to get this off and get, I don't usually bring makeup to work. Anyway, that's my point, that I think I have to finally accept the fact that we're not going to find what we truly want. So that takes me to one of the videos that I'm going to be doing hopefully tomorrow. Many of you have asked about the Eve Pearl Foundation, and I've kind of gone back and forth as to how I feel about it. I was originally going to carry that line of makeup in my business because I was initially very impressed by it. Then I was a little disappointed because I couldn't believe how little was in the pans, the way it comes. It's like a compact. And I kind of have been full circle with it. The coverage, I think I was hoping that it would be just ultra mega full coverage, and it's not as good as I'd like. But I have to tell you, the things I've tried since then that are more coverage, none of them compare to the Eve Pearl in finish, the way they look, the finish on the face. So I will be doing that, like I said, hopefully tomorrow. In the meantime, I think all of us girls over the age of 35 or 40 are going to have to accept that we can't have it all. Today on my face, I did my makeup early this morning, and I've been at work all day, and I haven't touched it. I haven't done anything. And I use the Makeup Forever Face and Body. And that's a foundation that I couldn't make up my mind on at first because there's very little coverage and it dries very quickly. But I will have to say I reach for it more often than anything else. And when I look at it outside, it doesn't have that telltale sign of like fine lines, and it doesn't make your skin look crepey. If anything, you just don't look like you have anything on, but it does improve the way your skin looks, definitely. And it does have a nice finish. So I'm starting to have to realize that, we have to accept that if we want our skin to look good, we've got to go with less coverage. And then, if you have places that really bother you, that's where you use a good concealer and spot treat. But, I think the most important thing is to realize that other people don't see what we think we need to cover. And when in doubt, don't cover it. Because when you do all that concealing and covering everywhere and heavy makeup, it really does not look like skin anymore. And you wait about 2 hours after applying it, and it does start to sort of crease and cake. And ladies, we're aging ourselves. That is the number one thing I see when people lay down on my treatment table. The first thing I do is cleanse their skin, and it's shocking how much younger they look, flaws and all, how much younger they look without the makeup. So I think that's kind of the lesson for today, that less is more. And those of you who suffer from acne, I know that for you, you want to cover. That's a big deal. I was there. I was one of those people. But if your acne is the type where you have a lot of inflamed, big cystic, or big pustules everywhere, the makeup is not going to cover that because it's a textural thing, right? So again, I would say less is more. Maybe use something like the Face and Body because it's very, very lightweight. Use that all over, and then spot treat for color. But there's nothing really that you can do about the lumps. And if you use a light concealer to cover them, or a lot of foundation to cover them, it really just brings them out more. So whether you're dealing with aging skin like me or acneic skin, as we move into spring, when the sun is brighter and more, you can see more things. Like on a cloudy day, you can get away with a little bit more makeup and more coverage. But when that sun gets strong, now's the time to start thinking about lightening up what you're doing to your skin. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on foundations, particularly for maturing skin. We're just going to have to accept that we can't cover it all. Wish we could. I'm going to get in real close for you to see. I'm going to move my hair out of the way to see that this foundation, you can see I have hyperpigmentation right there. So it shows, let's see, you can see my lines here. Well, it's kind of hard. It's hard to see it on the screen, but so this foundation, it's been on all day. I know you can see that. And I have a lot of just aging things, redness in my cheeks. This foundation, same thing with my chin. This foundation did not completely cover it, but at the same time, I feel like it's a better choice. But the Eve Pearl, I'm really thinking for those of you considering trying the Eve Pearl, it's probably going to be, and so far from all of my different comparisons, it's the most coverage for a good finish that I've found yet. Is it really full coverage? Not really. But anything fuller than that I've tried doesn't give a finish that I would recommend, because you don't want to walk around looking like that. So hope that helps, and I hope to get my videos up tomorrow. Thanks, and have a good weekend.